Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this week's video. So if you're going through a hard time, BetterHelp can give you the tools to help approach your life in a different way.
And BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and accessible, which is super important because sometimes it's very difficult when you're limited to a certain number of therapists just in your area.
And how you've been writing in questions for us to answer on the podcast, that's basically how we approach our therapist.
Let me tell you a story. I don't leave out any details.
BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it's online and it's remote. So by just answering a few questions, BetterHelp can connect you with a professional therapist in a few days.
So it's easy to sign up and get matched with a therapist. Check out the link in our description.
And go to betterhelp.com/gaywomen. By clicking the link, you can get 10% off of your first month and get connected with a therapist to just try it out and see if it helps.
And if you find that you're not really jiving with the therapist that you got matched with, it is super easy to change your therapist at any time. It's free. You don't have to worry about if your insurance covers it, if someone's in your network, or anything like that.
So if you're struggling, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. You can click the link in our description or go to betterhelp.com/gaywomen.
And thank you again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video.
Hey guys, welcome back to our podcast.
Help! I'm gay.
I'm gay. I'm Sarah.
I'm Adrianna.
And if you don't know, we are, working on this podcast. But aside from that, we run the Gay Women channel on YouTube.
They know. They know now.
I guess by now they know, yeah.
Yeah.
So for this podcast, we asked you guys, our followers, people on our social media.
Just other queer women.
Yeah. Submit your questions, things you're having trouble with, things you need answers to, stories you want us to share with everyone who's listening. At this point, I don't know. Is it 5 people? Is it 50 people? That'd be cool.
50 people. That would be Kristen and Kristen level of fame.
They're pretty famous. So.
They are pretty famous. We should have them on the show.
So this episode is called Chosen Family, and I think it's something that LGBTQ people exclusively have. Do other people have chosen family to the same level as queer people?
Yeah, not like us. I think straight culture tries to appropriate our language. And they're like, we can have a chosen family too. And you're like, that's our thing.
So this episode, we're going to be talking about chosen family, pets, in-laws.
Well, see, in-laws are not chosen family. You choose your partner, and the in-laws just come with them. For better, that's what for better or for worse really means when you say your vows.
You are the better, and your family is the worse.
Exactly, yeah. Your hair is so long. I'm sad people can't see it.
What do you mean?
It looks so good.
You could see it.
I can see it.
Oh, I get if you're listening, you can't see it.
Yeah.
But on YouTube, if you want to see what we look like, go to YouTube.
There's 500 videos. They won't know what we look like now. We've been through a lot of haircuts, a lot of fashion styles.
Yeah, have we? I feel like our fashion sense has been pretty consistent.
I think you have changed a lot. I wear the same things still.
I try in every pillow talk to wear something different, which I don't because I don't have that many outfits. But sometimes I wear your clothes and my clothes, and then sometimes I wear something that I don't wear in my daily life. But I'm like, hey, this has been sitting in the bottom of my drawer for 8 years.
Perfect for pillow talk.
Yeah.
I will see you like posting our pillow talks, and I'm like, because we know we do them like one a week, sometimes once every 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh my God, 4 pillow talks in a row of me wearing the exact same t-shirt. Okay, people want help with issues with their chosen family.
Okay, so the first one.
Coming in from...
I don't know.
Bianca. No, you've said Bianca. How about Stephanie?
All right, Stephanie. My cat is controlling my life.
That's it.
That's not an exclamation.
Like, Stephanie, didn't you get the terms and conditions when you got a cat? Did you not read them? Did you just check it off?
Just scrolled to the bottom and said, I accept.
I accept. Because guess what, Stephanie? This is not a dog. A cat is your life.
Yeah.
And you are their servant.
Your cat wants food at 5 a.m.?
Get up, Stephanie. Feed your cat. And like the cat decides when it wants to eat, not you.
That's why I said 5 a.m.
Yeah. 5 a.m. when you're usually late for something.
No, do you have to go somewhere? Do you have somewhere to be? Your cat wants to sit on you right now.
Oh, yeah. And you can't move a cat that's sitting on you. Those are your plans now for the night.
If your cat is controlling your life, it is a privilege.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. That's not a problem. Okay, question 2. This is from Cameron. Cameron says, my beloved cat Ginny passed away 2 years ago, and I still cry when I think of her. How do I get over it? Ginny, also, my condolences.
Yeah. R.I.P. Ginny.
Yeah. My parents just lost their dog over the Christmas holidays, and I was very close with this dog. She was a greyhound. Her name was Palmer. I was obsessed with her. A greyhound is the closest dog you can get to a cat, by the way. If you don't know this, they're very lazy. They sleep a lot. They're very weird. They're very sensitive. They don't bark. They just like, they do nothing like a cat. Mm-hmm. And then when they want something, they'll like look at you and be like, get me the thing I want. Yeah, my parents had to put their dog down. Yeah. But I cried more when this dog died than when any of my grandparents died. And I felt so much more grief than when any of my grandparents died. Mm. It was a horrible week.
Yeah.
I'm feeling better now. So Cameron, I know how you're feeling. And I mean, I now understand when people talk about like grief and how it like comes in waves. Well, you'll be okay. And then something will remind you of your cat or your dog. And then it like hurts all over again. But the waves will get easier to manage over time. Oh, and it's okay also. Nice. It's also okay to, you know, Ginny meant a lot to you, and it's okay to be sad for a long time. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine when Sadie goes, I will. Nope.
At the time of recording, she's in the other room right now. Also, I would love to take this opportunity to talk about having a geriatric pet. Sadie just turned 17 this year.
Our little angel, what a health journey she's been on. And yeah, you should share it on Instagram.
Yeah, but I'll keep it brief here.
Yeah. Yeah, tell people the lengths we go through for this cat.
Okay, well, Sadie had her geriatric senior blood profile, which if you have an elderly cat, you should do it.
Yes.
Get their blood checked.
It's a great way to prevent something more serious from happening.
Yeah, so we did that for Sadie. Her kidneys weren't doing 100%. She was kind of going towards kidney disease. So we started giving her kidney supplements. She took those for like a year. Kidneys were okay, not great. Vet suggested changing her food. So we changed her to senior food.
And a mix of also like renal diet, wet food.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
And then like still treats, not a ton of treats.
No like high protein foods like chicken.
Dried chicken.
Yeah.
Dried protein is a no-go.
Animals with kidney disease, it's better if they have less dry food. So we're feeding her more wet food.
Well, she needs more liquid, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This is just like, you know, don't take this.
We are not vets.
A little asterisk disclaimer. But, you know, sometimes I think it helps hearing about what other people are doing with their pets and what their pets are going through. Because sometimes if your pet gets sick, you're just like, what do I do? She takes 2 kidney supplements, which are in pill form, because she would not eat the powder.
She went on a hunger strike.
Yeah, she did not like that. And then with the 2 kidney supplements and changing her mostly to senior food, the vet said her blood work, her numbers are great.
They like went back to normal. She was in like stage 1 or 2 of kidney disease, and then she went to stage 1, and the vet was like, I've never seen this before.
What's the brand of supplements?
RX, renal feline.
Just
in case you're wondering.
Putting that out there. And then also, Sadie's been also slowing down a little. She's having trouble with stairs. She's having trouble jumping. She wasn't running around as much, so we also took her to the vet. The vet did all of the inspections and said it seems like it's a little bit of arthritis. And now they have something for cat arthritis. I want to call it Sadie's on Ozempic.
It's Silencia. Ask your vet about Ozempic.
Ozempic for cats. Silencia?
Silencia.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. She goes in for a shot like every 6 weeks, and it helps with her arthritis. And it has helped. She is like running around like a kitten again.
And talk to your vet again
about Ozempic.
It's not bad for her kidneys.
No. Correct. Because there's some like anti-inflammatories that is good for arthritis, but it's bad for their kidneys.
Yes. So this one is good for the kidneys and good for her little bones and joints.
By the end of Sadie's health journey, I will be a vet. I will know so much about taking care of a geriatric cat. I feel like also there's a lot of
pets in your family.
Yeah.
And they're all getting older and they all go to the vet for something.
Yeah.
So you're pretty versed in pet issues.
Yeah. But back to Cameron. Also, you can do bereavement counseling for your pet, and it's an actual thing, and you don't have to feel embarrassed about it because, again, I think even more now, I think fewer people are having kids, more people are having cats. Yeah. And they're your family and you treat them like they're your children. So it's going to be very hard when it's their time to go. So you can go to group sessions. You can find online different like groups and forums, and you can talk to people that have also lost pets, and I'll just cry together because I'm going to be on in those groups when Sadie goes.
Where is that bitch?
I don't know.
Get over here.
She barely wants to see us.
Sadie, she's like, you can't afford me for these podcasts. All right, Lisa.
Great name.
I need help with in-laws, homophobia, and transphobia. I've been with my partner since 2014. Both of us identify as women, are cis, and use she, her pronouns. During our first visit years ago, her parents said we were displaying affection too often. Y'all, there were hugs. They insisted their aversion would be present whether or not we were a same-sex couple. Unsolicited, we did not ask, so I'm automatically not buying it. Cut to me finding out her parents don't advertise, in quotes, that my partner is queer. Then cut to her brother complaining to my partner about children being exposed to trans people, unsolicited again, by the way, and saying that he loves her no matter what lifestyle choices she makes. So we have some homophobic, transphobic in-laws here. She wants to go visit them again soon. We have visited once every other year or so over the years. The more I learn about them and interact with them, the more queer phobia I'm seeing. What should I do? Grin and bear it because her family is important to her. Go on my own vacation while she goes to visit them. I should also mention that her mom is a self-proclaimed as hypersensitive. If I so much as send a quick email rather than a lengthy one, it's an issue that will come up. Anyway, would love to hear your advice. Thanks for starting this podcast.
Sarah's collecting her thoughts.
Because it's a tough situation.
Yes.
And it's unfortunate, and we're very sorry, Lisa, that you are in this situation.
It's so hard. It's like you want to be there for your partner, but then also you have to also take care of yourself. And sometimes it's hard if you're like, I am so miserable being around these people that you're like, you can kind of maybe take it out on your partner a bit.
Because you're kind of stuck with them.
You're stuck with them. But I don't think it's a terrible idea to limit the amount of time that you're with them. I wouldn't say to cut them out completely because I think it's important to your partner that she probably wants you to see her family because she cares about her family. But you don't have to go all the time that she goes.
Also, they've been together since 2014. So that's almost 10 years now. So maybe it doesn't apply to Lisa. But I think with some people, if you're around a family that's maybe a bit homophobic, maybe they don't know gay people, like the more time you spend with them, the more time they like see a queer couple, they slowly start to get it and maybe change their views a bit.
Yeah, but also some people are just so set in their ways. And if they live in a small town or a smaller city and they have their little bubble of people that have the same mindset as them, they'll never escape it. Yeah. Even if you have that one gay daughter and her partner. Also, I think it's okay if you tell your partner, like, hey, maybe you can talk to your parents and be like, you're making Lisa uncomfortable with your homophobia.
I'm sure they're making her partner uncomfortable.
Lisa's Well,
both of them.
Well, yeah, of course. But sometimes you can deal with it more when it's your family. You're like, it's just my family. That's just how they talk. That's just how they are.
Yeah.
So I'm saying go on vacation. Go to Disneyland. Go to World Pride while she goes to see her family. And they're like, "Where's Lisa?" And they're like, "She's at World Pride right now."
I think you can literally go on YouTube and look up like the best comebacks for homophobia and transphobia.
That's true.
And just have them locked and loaded.
And you're like, "Come at me, bro."
Yeah. And then maybe if they will not get over their homophobia and transphobia, they'll keep their mouth shut because they're like, oh.
Or they'll get to the point where like, we don't want Lisa over anymore. And you're like, thank God I did it. Yeah, now's the time to just fight. Fight at Christmas, fight at Thanksgiving. Be like, I'm not taking this anymore. We used to be quiet and just like, okay, just one day. It's just one dinner. Best of luck, Lisa. That's super difficult. This next, what is this called?
It's a question.
This next question. You'll never hear another question like this again.
Okay.
This is a once in a lifetime scenario.
I don't think so.
This specific issue.
Let's talk about it after.
Okay. So this is coming from Gemma, and that's her actual name, and you'll see why. So my partner and I are both named Gemma. While it's led to a fair amount of confusion from strangers, it's less of a problem than we thought. However, one day, my parents informed us that they had decided on a way to differentiate between us. I would be Gemma, and my partner would be Gem. To me, Gem is an affectionate nickname, and I love when my parents occasionally use it to refer to me. So I half-jokingly replied, "No, don't take my affectionate nickname away from me." Dad in particular took it very seriously and said that it was too confusing, and this is what he decided. His argument was that it matched our names on Facebook. Fine. Not happy, but okay. But where this tale really hits its climax is when I was telling my dad a story about my partner. I said, and then Gemma, and he interjected with Gem. He corrected me on my own girlfriend's name. I, of course, ranted on about context and how I don't refer to myself in the third person. I'm not Elmo. He kept going on about it being confusing. So how do I stop my dad from policing me on my own partner's name?
I think you should get married and one of you takes the other's last name.
Both Gemma Wilsons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Make it even more confusing. Get the same haircut. Wear the same clothes.
Dye your hair the same color. Mess
and then
with him.
make it so difficult. And then be like, you know what? We'll go back to the way it was if you let the names go.
I mean, you can also just tell your dad you want to like switch the nicknames. If you want Gem and you want your partner to be Gemma, you can ask that. Or just keep referring to yourselves as that until he gets the hint. You get to pick your own name, so...
You can change your name.
No, you can change your name.
You can change it to whatever you want. You could be called Rockstar Kitty Cat, and that could be your name.
That's a good one. Gemma Rockstar Kitty Cat.
No.
Also, I've never met a Gemma in my life. And the fact that both of you are
found
named
each other?
Gemma is... Like, I'm not sure where you're from. Maybe it's a popular name in, like, I don't know, the UK or Europe or something, but wow.
Also, you know, maybe the situation of your dad not being able to let it go is maybe unique, but I think a lot of queer people who have the same name date. That's what I meant when it's not like once in a lifetime. Will never happen again.
Like, no offense to your dad, but he's being pretty dramatic. Like, we have two friends, Matt and Matt. One's not called Matthew and the other's called Matt. It's Matt and Matt.
Yeah.
And when we tell a story, we say Matt and you're like, which one? And we're like, oh, Scottish Matt. And that's it. Like, we get it.
But also I think with context, you know which Matt you are saying.
Exactly.
And you don't need
exactly.
Because
you're like, names. I know Matt would never do that. It's Matt you're talking about.
Exactly. This is like people having issues with pronouns.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I'm like...
It's not that difficult.
No. You know a good trick, if you're bad with pronouns, but you want to get better, but you mess up, that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's okay to correct the person and just be like, he.
But my little trick, for some reason, I always call like animals he.
Yeah, I do
Or
that
I see
too.
a little dog, I'm like, look how cute he is. But the best way to start practicing is just refer to like animals and pets as they, them. What's their name?
They can't figure out how to use their thumbprint or face recognition on their iPhone. How are they supposed to remember your name and your pronouns? This is the generation that would remember their phone number and everyone's phone number, but they can't remember pronouns.
I'm not buying it.
I don't get it.
All right. Good luck, Gemma. No. Gem. Hi, guys. I was wondering what your thoughts are on how to best support your partner to come out to family. We have been together very happily for 7 years, but because we live apart for work, the natural pressure isn't there. I feel very sure her family would be nothing but supportive, but currently it seems like an insurmountable step. We are at a crux point in the relationship. Example, one of us is moving, but I wouldn't be comfortable feeling like I'm back in the closet if we live together with her family unaware. Any suggestions appreciated. Have y'all seen the movie Happiest Season?
Did you like how it ended?
I feel like nothing good ever comes from going back in the closet.
No, and it's too hard when you've been living outside of the closet and you have to go back in the closet. I can't even imagine. I'd slip up. There's no way.
I mean, look at you.
Look at me. I wonder what the family thinks that they even are. Like just friends, roommates.
For how long? 7 years.
7 years?
I think this sounds like one of those things where, you have to do something and then you put it off.
For so long.
And then you put it off for so long that you're like, how do I do it now? And then because you're stuck, you put it off for even longer. And then you're like, well, now it's been even longer. How do I do it now?
Yeah, and then you just like build it up that you're like, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I can't do it. And like, then you will do it eventually and you're like, oh, it's fine.
She probably...
Like, you're just living in anxiety.
She probably started a lie and it has just snowballed for 7 years.
Yeah.
And for real, the more it snowballs, the more you're like, I can't get out of this now. The harder it gets.
Happiest season. But what advice do we have? Who is this?
Oh, I don't know.
Tammy. What advice do we have for Tammy, though?
Expect the best, but prepare for the worst.
That's your advice.
That's what we wrote down as our advice for this question.
For Tammy or Tammy's partner?
I mean, Tammy's asking the question. So I think this is the advice for Tammy.
I think, Tammy, you should be supportive of your partner, but try and get her inching closer to coming out. You'll just live a happier life. Even if her parents don't take it well, you're not living with them. It's not like you have to worry about getting kicked out of the house, having no money, being homeless, like any of that. So like you're adults, you're living away from them. It's better not to be in the closet.
And as hard as it is, it will be stress and anxiety lifted off of your shoulders.
Yes. And also, okay, like my parents, when I came out, they did not take it well. It took them a very long time. They told me that they took it well. They were like, we love you. And then they did not act like they loved me. But they came around. Like, again, it took them a while. I still kept going over and being like, I'm still here and gay. And then they just got over it. And now they don't even think about it.
Also, when you're in the closet, you probably just keep thinking about how they're going to take it and how they're going to react. And then once you do it, for good or bad, you'll know.
And people, they'll surprise you. People maybe that you think will take it bad actually will take it good.
And then people you thought would take it good will take it horrible.
Well, they think that they're going to take it good, so I hope not. Okay, good luck, Tammy. Okay. This one is Lillian. Lillian, I realized I was a lesbian when I was in high school. I'm currently 32, but didn't really have a real girlfriend until I was 28. That's when I lost my virginity. So I struggle a lot with sexuality topics and stuff because I feel inadequate and way behind my peers. I feel I lost 10 years of my sexual life experience and I'm just catching up. However, I still feel silly and self-conscious around more experienced people and partners. Any good advice to overcome these feelings? Okay, first, Lillian, what I'm going to say is everyone feels the way that you feel.
I think especially queer people.
Yes.
Because we all come out at different times.
Yes. And almost all of us, like, friends are having sex at like 14 and you're like, ew, why? I'm waiting for marriage. God. But you're like, I don't want to touch a boy. So yeah, like I think all of our sexual experiences are later in life. And even people that you think are like, oh, they're so experienced, they still feel like they're inadequate. Like for me personally, if I were to date someone new, I'd be like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've been with the same person for like 17 years. I have no idea what I'm doing. What do they like? What if it's different? I would have no clue how to date. And I literally I wouldn't know what to
everything
do.
About it. I would be like, oh my God.
I'd be like, am I a weirdo?
I would be like a 17-year-old again.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Like going out on a date.
I'd be so nervous.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's because too, when you're in a long-term relationship, you like don't practice that stuff anymore. But if you're actively dating, you're getting better at it because you're doing it.
Yes.
Also,
you'll just get more experience too. And then you'll start to gain some confidence. It's like practice makes perfect.
You're only 32.
Yeah, you're fine.
You are a spring chicken. Our boomer word of the day.
Like, how old was Holland Taylor when she started dating Sarah Paulson? Did she sleep with women before that?
I would love to know. Can we have a Holland Taylor autobiography that's just only about her lesbian act?
Because, like, maybe she didn't do anything till she was 70 years old. I don't know.
All right, next question. Deb. I think we used Deb.
Deb is like a 50-year-old lesbian name.
No, what's another? I think I used Deb already.
Let's go with Kat.
I think we used Kat already.
No way.
Yeah, way.
Catherine. But there's no way we used Catherine.
Way.
No way. Didn't.
Sierra.
Okay.
I've been in a relationship for 4 years. At the end of 2021, we broke up for a year and got back together in December 2022. We are really happy. One of the reasons for the breakup was the involvement of her mother in our relationship. They text constantly and see each other nearly every week, and we don't get to spend too much time alone together on weekends without her being present. I wanted to know if you've been in this situation and what would your advice be? Much love from the UK.
Sarah and I have not been in this situation because we both understand that we don't want to hang out with each other's moms.
Every time we hang out?
No. Once in a while, absolutely. Love to see the family. Every weekend, it's a bit much. And actually, it got like that during the pandemic. We were seeing family a lot because that's all you could do.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is a lot. We were like, we got to cut back. Maybe once every 2 weeks.
You got to mix it up with friends.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
You need some variety.
I mean, at the time we like couldn't, but every week is a lot to hang out with your mother-in-law. And I think it's okay to tell your partner that as well. You don't have to hang out with their family if you don't want to. That's also fine. And also if you're like, oh, I'm missing my partner because I don't get to see her, you can also just be like, hey, what if like we do something this weekend, like the two of us? Let's like, I miss you. Let's have like a date day. Maybe we don't do it with your mom this weekend. We could do it with your mom next weekend.
Your partner has her date day with her mom. And then sometimes you go, sometimes you don't have to go. Yeah. And then have your date day with your partner.
Yeah. But just say like, hey, let's split our time. You split the time with your mom. You split the time with me.
It's such like an opposite issue for queer people to have. Any kind of socializing.
It's
requires
exhausting.
Energy.
Exactly. And sometimes you just want to be with your partner.
Yeah.
If she wants to, that's fine. Be like, hey, go get a coffee with her in the morning and then we'll hang out in the afternoon.
Yeah.
That's it. Those are all the questions for today.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for submitting those. I am sorry about those answers. I don't know. Those were tough.
This is a tough one. This is a tough episode.
Dealing with in-laws in general, I think is tough, whether they're great or whether they're not so great. It's tough.
Yeah.
Dealing with cats passing away and controlling cats is tough.
It's tough.
It's really tough.
They tell you when they want it.
And dealing with your own parents is tough. The common denominator here is parents, I think. How do we get our parents to therapy? Don't you think that would solve so many problems? Every parent in therapy, the world would be a better place. I truly believe that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You'll see how millennials kids turn out, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you guys for listening to Help, I'm Gay.
And thank you for submitting your questions.
Okay, we'll be back next month with more questions and kind of answers. Tune in.
Yeah. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Adriana.
And thank you for listening.